Hello, it's Helen from Journal with Purpose and welcome to my latest journaling video. I'm going to be using a standard size traveller's notebook insert, which I keep inside this vintage-like cover from Start Bay Notebooks. I haven't been around on YouTube or social media for a few weeks because I've just been trying to catch up with some big projects and deadlines that were looming. So I was feeling a bit rusty. I'm going to ease myself into this kind of journaling routine with a nice and simple spread. So I really hope that you'll enjoy it. I'm going to start off by using some watercolour paint, and this set is from London Gifties. And the paintbrush I use is an Escoda travel brush. I'm picking 3 colours, which are going to be a pale grey, a pink and a purple. I don't know if you follow Creation CC on YouTube, but she releases some absolutely fantastic videos for watercolour, and I followed along with quite a few of her tutorials before. And in my sketchbook, I've got one of the pages has got some rectangles on there with doodles inside. And I enjoyed doing that so much that I decided I wanted to recreate that inside my traveller's notebook insert. And the paper in this insert is Tomo River paper. It will go really wrinkly when I first add that paint, but it will flatten out nicely once it's been closed back in its cover. I'm going to paint 9 rectangles on my page, and these aren't going to be particularly precise. I'm not too worried about that. And I'm going to change the position of the different colours on each line. So I'm starting with the light pink colour, and I've just put it on the top left, the middle, and then the bottom right. And as you can see, it's nice and wet and given a really lovely wash. And as the page wrinkles, some of the paint collects in those little dips, but I really like that effect. I've decided to create 2 printables from this journaling video, so they're available on the free printables section of my blog, which I'll leave linked down below. You will need a password to access that section, but you'll get that as soon as you subscribe to my blog. So I'm going to have one printable, which is just these painted triangles. So if you don't have any watercolour paint at home, but want to have a go at adding some doodles over the top, then you can print that off and use it. And there'll also be a printable with the doodles on top too, which you could either use as a background page or cut them out to use kind of like stickers. And alongside that, there'll be a blog post with some close-up images of each stage of me creating this journal, page 2. So I really hope that you enjoy using those printables. Before moving on to the next stage of adding the doodles, I used a heat tool to make sure it was completely dry. For the doodles itself, I'm going to use some of the images from inside my book for inspiration. The 2 different pens that I'll be using throughout this will be a black Staedtler pigment liner and also a white Uniball Signo gel pen. And as always, I'll leave a link for everything that I use in the description box down below. I think I'm just about caught up with some of the really big projects that I've been working on, but I've still got lots that I need to try and get done throughout the rest of July and a fairly full calendar for August. But taking a little bit of time away from social media has given me a chance to kind of reflect and come up with some new ideas of different things that I'd like to create and share on YouTube. As always, if there's anything in particular that you'd really like to see, then please do leave me a suggestion in the comment section down below. I'd love to know how things are with you. How's everything going? We're still in a kind of strange time here in the UK with restrictions being lifted, but I think lots of people not feeling particularly comfortable yet, and I think that's really to be expected. Along with reflecting on social media, I've also been thinking a little bit more about kind of what I want to go back to as my new normal after all of this. Do I want to go back to those same routines and everything we used to be able to do? So it's a really interesting time to kind of stop and reflect about everything that's been going on. So I'd love to know how you're feeling at the moment. Now that all of the doodling is finished, I'm going to add a quote to my left-hand page. And I haven't used my dip pen in quite a while, and I really fancied having a go with that again. So I'm going to be using a Browse pen holder, which has a Nico G nib in it. And the ink, I won't pronounce correctly, I'm sure, but it's by Pilot. It's the Iroshizuku brand. And it's this lovely pink colour, and it's called something along the lines of Sutsuji, but again I will leave that linked down below. And the quote I chose felt perfect for kind of how I'm feeling at the moment, and it's "You must learn to let go. Release the stress. You were never in control anyway," by Steve Maraboli. And that for me was a really nice reminder of there's really only so many things that you can kind of keep control of, like the way you respond to things and your own behaviour. But everything can change in an absolute instant, and you really can't always see it coming. So that quote felt just right. I really enjoyed using the dip pen again. I was a bit shaky, but it was fine. You might notice later on there's a splodge at the end because I decided to test if it was dry by putting my finger on it, which obviously isn't the right way to test whether ink is dry, but never mind. So finally, I'm going to move on to my journal writing, and for this I'm using a black Muji gel pen. In my journal writing, I'm writing down the kinds of things I've just been talking about remembering how little control we have on lots of the things that go on, and how to me that's kind of strangely reassuring because I worry so much about things and get caught up in things that are going on in the news, but actually there's no point worrying about those things because they're not in our control. I'd far rather spend my time thinking about what I can control and what difference I can make in a positive way. And it feels like a much better way to spend my time and my energy. So that's what this journal writing is all about. I really hope you've enjoyed watching this video and that you're doing well. And don't forget to check out those free printables that are available on my blog if you fancy trying those out. So I'll make sure that's linked down below. And definitely check out Creation CC's YouTube channel if you're after some really fantastic watercolour inspiration. If you did enjoy the video, it would be great if you'd leave it with a thumbs up. And if you're new to my channel, I would love it if you would consider subscribing. And please do leave me any questions or comments down below. Thank you ever so much for watching, and I look forward to speaking to you really soon in the next one.